Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Hello and welcome to Countryside here on Manx Radio. I'm Simon Clark.
And I'm Kirree. At the weekend, I caught up with the Southern District Agricultural Show as they were setting up for the big event. And I also speak to travelling sheep shearer Archie Newington, who came over from the south of England.
And I popped along to help celebrate the 21st birthday since the renovation of the Great Laxey Mine Railway. Joe Rock told me more as well about the history of the railway. Well, Kirree, silaging is well on its way, and the hay gathered in by a lot of them. Combining's getting done when the weather's all right.
This is very true. It's been a great year for grass growth and crops just generally. And I think there'll be a lot of people breathing a sigh of relief ahead of winter stocks for this coming year. Obviously, the weather is a little bit unfavourable this week, but let's hope it's good for the Southern Show at the weekend.
Yes, and we spoke about some sheep shearing, of course, on last week's programme, and we had a little bit left over, and it was a shame not to get the thoughts of one of the visiting shearers.
That's right. Camilla Quintus gave us a great talk and an insight into the truth about wool at Knockalo Classroom last week. And I happened to catch up with Archie Newington, who also worked alongside Camilla in the Kirree team from Crosby. Well, Archie, I believe it's coming to the end of the shearing season here on the Isle of Man, but you're not a local and this isn't your first time to the island, but you keep coming back, a sheep shearer.
Yeah, no, keep coming back. They haven't got rid of me yet.
So how did you get into sheep shearing?
I've been coming over here for the TT to watch the motorbike racing for fifth year, I think this is now, watching, and then I got dragged into doing some work for Danny because we stayed on his farm, very kindly let us, and then he was like, oh, do you want to come and do some wrapping? And then I was more interested in the shearing than the wrapping side of things, and then I went on some courses with Elite Wool Industry with Rhys Jones in Wales. He got me going, sort of thing, and then I came back and Danny's pushed me on, keep doing the courses and keep shearing.
Wow, so you're quite new to the industry then, really.
Yeah.
It's hard graft.
Hard graft, but it's enjoyable, sort of thing.
And have you always grown up on a farm? Is this something you've always wanted to be part of?
The shearing side I've only been introduced to the last couple of years really, but always agricultural based and hard work, that sort of thing, and enjoy it.
And your accent's obviously quite southern, so where's home to you?
I'm East Sussex, I am, so about 10 miles from the coast, which Hastings is our closest coast, but yeah, down there a lot of arable farming and beef farming as well, but the sheep side isn't as big as it was 30 years ago there.
So growing up on the farm, what did you left school I assume and went back to the family farm?
Yeah, left school and went farm, do a lot of fencing, sort of fencing contracting as well, and then that side, and then work for contractors with the arable side and tractor work, and then come over here, and in the future I'd like to keep the shearing going really and do as much as I can.
And so through the winter months, obviously the fencing's probably a bit easier, the ground's a bit softer, but this year, are you going to stay or are you going to follow the stream of shearing?
Hopefully this year, and a couple of months fencing back home, and then try and get overseas and chase some big numbers.
So how many can you do at the moment?
At the moment, it depends where we've been, but I've had some good sheep. I done my first over 100 in a run, which is 2 hours. So 103 in 2 hours. So. But we're getting there. We're starting to improve.
To most people, clipping 100 sheep, it is physical. It's so demanding.
Sort of to 100 sheep, you'll probably drink about 3 litres of water within that 2 hours, and then changing your clothing quite regularly helps to try and stop the rash, and the horse flies keep at you, you keep soldiering on.
And is that the worst part about the Isle of Man, the horseflies?
Horseflies and the midges, we don't get them back home.
So how do you find the island just generally?
I love the island sort of thing. It's a bit like, as my granddad explains, it was back home in the 60s. Everyone's sort of more communal and everyone's got time for each other, whereas back home it's sort of too close to London. Everything's get out my way and
fast lane.
Yeah, fast lane, which it's nice to slow down a bit.
And so bring you back to the TT. Where's your love for motorbikes come from?
From the family really. My granddad first came here in 1967 and he's watched the TT. He's probably missed about 10 TTs since then. He's been every year.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, he used to just ride up sort of thing, him and some friends, and watch the racing all day and drink the beer all night.
So for him it'd be quite something to hear that you've obviously set up home here, established the shearing gang here.
He loves it. I always ring him sort of thing each evening. He asks for photos, how we're getting on, and he likes relating. He knows Danny quite well, so he likes knowing what's happening.
That is really cool. Well, good luck with your winter ahead, and hopefully we'll catch up again next year, Archie.
No, we certainly will. Thank you for the time.
There we go. That was Archie Newington, a travelling sheep shearer from East Sussex.
That's quite a story of how he became involved in some shearing while he was here.
This is very true. It's madness what you get up to watching at Crosby Leap. But no, fantastic and a bright future ahead of Archie, and we wish him well. Clipping any sheep is a hard task, and he seems to really enjoy it. So good luck at the Royal Welsh next week.
Well, on Saturday, I popped along to Laxey to speak to Joe Rock, who's one of the volunteers of the Great Laxey Mine Railway, who was celebrating their 21st birthday, not since the initial trains were running, but since the renovations started to get it up and running again. Joe told me more about the celebration and about the history of the Great Laxey Mine Railway. Well, Joe Rock, you've been the designated official to tell me more about today. 21st anniversary of the Great Laxey Mine Railway restoration, isn't it?
Yeah, 2004 in the end of actually September, we've chosen this just to be a bit more family friendly, a bit better weather, and they reopened the line in 2004, so we're just having a bit of a coming of age celebration.
I know some people I mentioned it to before, 21st, and they say, oh, it looks older than that. But of course, it was dormant for many years. When does it date back to originally?
It's also the 201st year that there's been a railway on the site. Originally it was horse-drawn, and it's been built upon by that. And then in 1877 we got our 2 steam locos, and they ran up until about 1930. At which point the mine closed, and then we believe they were scrapped. There's the old wives' tale that they might have snuck off on a boat and disappeared somewhere, but we've never managed to find out if they have or where they were. And again, like I say, in 2004 they completed the work and had 2 replicas built.
Yeah, it's incredible though. It just shows the railway enthusiast that's still about around not just the Isle of Man but around the world who are willing to get stuck in, volunteers as well, to replicate something like over 200 years ago. Wow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not a unique thing to the Isle of Man, but I mean we are a bit of a narrow gauge mecca of sorts. We've probably got the largest collection of narrow gauge irregularities, I'll say, all very unique railways, and it does draw people from all over the world. We get visitors from all over. We've got a tour group from Germany in this afternoon.
Really?
Yeah.
But when you talk about narrow gauge, obviously that's the width that the tracks are apart, and why was the differences between all the different widths, and was it the train sizes or where they could get to?
We believe ours at 19 inches dates just because that's what the horse-drawn was, so they went, well, we've got a railway, we'll make the engines to fit, because 19 inches is very, very peculiar. Certainly the only one in the British Isles that we know of.
Is it?
Yeah, possibly one out in the Americas.
So it was designed that way to adapt from the horse-drawn into steam originally, and then electric?
And again, the steam locos were built to fit the tunnels that were already there. That's why they're so small. I mean, fast forward to where we are now, the replicas obviously still had to fit. The carriages we've had to have made to fit the tunnel. And fortunately, the battery loco that we've got, which is actually the oldest loco we've got, it was an ex-mining loco, tunnelling loco, so it's just been re-gauged to suit us.
Right, and you said they're narrow and that they go through the tunnel here, which is just behind us. But did they go into the mine?
Yeah, the steam locos back in the day went underground, I believe as far as Dumbbell Shaft. They were there to pull out the waste stone and the ore to bring it down to the washing floors for processing.
Right. All right, well, there's one. We've heard the whistle just heading past us now in reverse with our driver. What's the name of this loco?
This one's B. We've got a sister loco called
C?
Ant.
No.
No. Anton B, I mean, we get the old Anton Jack joke very regularly, and we've started fining people for that one. And then we've got Wasp, which is the battery loco, just to try and keep in with the busy little insects theme.
Yeah, but going into the mines, I mean, when you think back 200 years when this was happening, it must have been an absolute revelation when it first happened, instead of, having the horses and leading them, walking up with the horses to do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, from what I understand, when the horses were pulling them out, it was one wagon at a time. Once the steam locos came, they were pulling them out 6 at a time.
Really? Yeah.
We've got a train of 6 replica wagons, just to give people the idea of what they look like. And they, at the peak of the mine, and they were believed they had over 200 of them.
But how, when the restoration started again in 2004, I think you said, I mean, how there wouldn't be photographs 200 years ago of the original things was? I mean, how did you get the sort of blueprints, so to speak, for doing it?
The track bed was a case of they tried to pick up what they believed to be the original, and we can't be totally on the same line because of things that have happened in the intervening 100 years or so. It's largely on the locomotives are built from pictures. There's no drawings. We've got a few pictures of the originals, and you can scale that because certain sizes from like newspaper reports. So they built the locos just from pictures.
Really?
Yeah.
And it just shows you again, we mentioned it before, the dedication of people and to study these photographs and get it sort of designed, engineering side of it as well, and to set them off running must have been such an achievement.
Oh yeah, I mean I've been about 9 when they reopened, so it was a good few years before I started getting involved. But we've still got some of the original volunteers here now. It's sort of a labour of love.
How did you get involved?
Through family, step uncle of mine brought me down when I was 14, and I've been here ever since.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the attraction? Is it the age thing of them, that the engineering back then, or just the sort of the beauty of seeing them still running?
I've always been into history, and it just flows from there. I mean, you grow up as a child, you'd be playing with your Thomas the Tank engines and stuff, and now I get to play with real ones.
Do you get to drive them as well?
Yeah. Turn the driving now and again. Have to do a bit of guarding and all basically do a bit of everything.
Are they tricky to drive? Obviously you wouldn't need to steer them.
No, the actual physical driving of them's quite simple. Most things are quite simple, like driving a car. You need to know where you're going. Just because it's on rails doesn't mean you're not having to pay attention to what the line's like. Uphill, downhill, you don't want to be going too slow uphill. You might not get up the hill. You don't want to be going too fast down the hill because you might not stop at the bottom. You've got to learn your line. But the actual driving of an engine is fairly simple and hasn't changed since the early days.
Since Casey Jones.
Yes.
They're looking after them, the maintenance of them. I mean, will a lot of these bits wouldn't be available, I suppose, to get them? Would they have to be specially made nowadays?
Yeah, like our biggest costs are things like boilers. They have to be retubed every 10 years, no matter what, and that's, I think, around about £5,000 per boiler. So that's a specialist job. Pipe fittings and all, they're obviously standard, but most of the actual mechanism that drives the engine, if you need that wears out, you've got to make it. Simple or have it made. Yeah.
What about the funding? It seems quite expensive. What helps to keep them running?
We get a lot of help from various charitable trusts. A lot of companies, far too many to mention now, help us out. We've just finished a big, I say finished, you never stop fundraising, but to purchase new track to keep the line running and up to a good standard, and we've had really good support for that.
Yeah. But of course, I've been here in the Hop Tuné time with the Halloween and the ghost trains are run, and they're ever so popular.
Yeah, that's our big earner, really. We do all right all summer. Numbers are on the up, which is good for the island on the whole because it means tourism's coming up, but Hopchinay's our big earner. That almost makes the profit for the year. Everything else gets covered by the season, and then the profit comes from Hopchinay, which lets us reinvest and try and keep the place up to standard and improve it and get more educational stuff in as well.
Yeah, because it's something that you mentioned about the Thomas the Tank, and still kids today have little train sets and still interested in the way that these things still work today.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we sell little model trains in our shop and we can't keep them on the shelves. I think, if you're brought up in an island with a lot of railways, kids are just going to naturally fall for them at some point.
Well, it's been fascinating talking to you today, and you and all your volunteers to do with the Great Laxey Mine Railway. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Joe Rock from the Great Laxey Mine Railway. Tell me a little bit about the history of the little locomotives heading into the mines, and also about the restoration process that they've started 21 years ago and celebrating the 21st birthday of the renovations. So it was great to hear that, and it makes you wonder what sort of life and how tough them men were and women back then, isn't it?
It must have been absolutely terrible hard work, and we don't know, we're born really, I suppose, but to see that renovation and the innovation at the time to create the locomotive to replace some of the hard graft that they did, to see it there now in all its glory, it looks magnificent, doesn't it?
It does indeed, and well done to all of the volunteers and the team at the Great Laxey Mine Railway. You're listening to Countryside here on Manx Radio with Kirree Kermode and myself, Simon Clark. Don't forget, podcasts can be downloaded from Manx Radio's website if you want to hear some of the more fuller interviews of the Countryside programmes from previous editions as well. But it's nearly showtime.
It is indeed. This coming weekend at Orrisdale and Ballasella, the Southern District Agricultural Show Society will be throwing open the gates to their annual show. I popped along to Orrisdale to see how the setup was going on. I caught up with the secretary, Zoe Hampton, and the president for this year, Claire Walker. Well, Zoe Hampton, it's not long now. Southern District Agricultural Show, less than a week away. Are you ready?
Yes, I think so. There's six sleeps to go, and I will be definitely managing to get some sleep in about 8 more sleeps.
That said, it is a huge undertaking, but you're settling into now the role of being the show secretary. This will be your 4th year now, is it?
Yeah, 4th year at Orrisdale, so it's all, each year, I like to say, gets a bit easier because you're remembering more and more each year.
Yeah, and that said, with it being at a new home, I suppose there's been a few teething problems, getting the layout just where you want it. It's all been a learning curve for everybody.
Yeah, we change things every year. We've made changes to where everything is. So this year we've moved the light horses. They're now in the bottom of the livestock field, so it's much flatter and make for better arenas. We've moved the main gate. So that's going, instead of going through Orrisdale Yard, you come out of the car parks and you'll turn right and go down a lovely little lane. So hopefully everything that we do is to make it easier to flow around the field. And
that said, it's 3 fields. It isn't the biggest area of ground to work with, but it always seems so busy.
Yeah, there's lots of space, so it's just trying to get everything to flow around, because some people come to the show and they'll say, "Oh, we didn't know there was that field there. We didn't know there was any cows." And I'm like, "How can you not know?"
And that said, I suppose getting the signage right and all of the instructions, social media posts are flying out now as well, getting the information out there.
Yeah, there's plenty. The car park signs are all, hopefully, there's new car park signs arriving this week. The warning signs have all just gone out. So, yeah, it's all go, go, go.
It is indeed. And with that said, Zoe, new president for this year, Claire Walker, well, congratulations. It is a great privilege to be a president, I imagine. But what does it mean to you?
Thanks very much. It really is a privilege. The show is something that I've been involved in and I've attended for many years since childhood. So now to actually be leading the society through the show this year, it's a real privilege. It's a great time to get together, meet people, celebrate all the local producers. The way everyone comes together, it's just amazing.
It really is. And what is it like to be on the outside of the show ring now? Because I do believe you spent many a year within it.
I did, and they were years that I absolutely loved. They were hard days, long days, but now to be outside of the ring looking in, it does give you an appreciation of the hard work that's gone into preparing the animals that are being shown in the show on show day.
Now, Zoe, the entries will be all in for this year. What are they looking like? Is there lots of exhibitors?
They're looking good. Light horse entries are still all open. So if you want to put an entry in the light horses, please get it to me ASAP so I can get your passes sent out. And of course, you can still enter the exhibition marquee with baking, arts and crafts, flowers, garden produce. You can enter that right up until Saturday morning.
And for this year, Zoe, it's always great to see new attractions to the show. It's hard probably to change it up some years, but what have you got for this year?
So yeah, we love having people involved in what we do at the Southern Show. So this year we've got a new competition. It's called On the Money. And you have to get your dog to sit on a £5 note. And if they manage to sit on it, then they win the money. So that'll be going on in the main ring. And we've also got the mascot race. You might have seen it on the internet. It's where you have to put on these big costumes and in a running race. It's great fun to watch, and we are all very excited to see that on the day.
And can these be entered on the day? Can you just come along and join in?
Yeah, I think so. We're asking for teams, but I think it's going to be if you want to have a go, then you can just turn up on the day.
So aside from all of the livestock and everything else that's going on, there is something for everybody.
Yeah, it's just a really good, fun, relaxed day out.
And that said, Claire, it is a great 2 days. It's great to see the young people getting involved, the volunteers, the teams behind the scenes supporting it, and the young farmers as well.
Yeah, a show like this can't happen without all those unpaid volunteers that turn up. You know, in the week leading up to the show, people just appear to help, and they really are appreciated. At the end of the day, events like this are the majority of the time supported by volunteers, and we really appreciate everybody coming to support the show.
And that said, it's same with the sponsorship. There's such a broad section of communities, sponsors and businesses that want to get involved.
Yeah, and we've got a few new sponsors this year, but if anybody ever wants to get involved, you can choose a certain section to sponsor. Any ideas that anybody's got for things to have at the show, just get in touch.
And I assume, Claire, the excitement is great. You know, we're on the countdown now.
Yeah, definitely. You can see the show field starting to come to life. I'm sure people doing their daily commute on the main road will notice that some of the marquees have started to go up, and this place will be a hive of activity from now until show day.
It is really, really fun, and I think some of the best part of show day is the food, the catering, all that local produce you mentioned before, Zoe. How is it looking for the trade stands and the caterers?
Yep, they're busy. Lots of local caterers. Again, we've still got our the tea tent where you can go and get your cup of tea and sandwiches and cake. Lots of varied caterers this year. Fish and pizza and Indian and you name it, we've got it.
Something to be excited for. And also, I know that the dog clubs, they do a great job of the displays they put on in the main ring, along with the gymnasts and all of the other activities. This year, I think it's a dog show with a bit of a difference.
Yeah, Ramsey Dog Show are putting on a display in the main ring, and we've also got a fun dog show this year happening on both the Saturday and Sunday. So if you bring your dog along on a lead, you can just enter on the day and have a go at some fun farm agility.
Oh, good. This could be entertainment. It really, really could. And tickets, Claire, they're still available, I assume?
Yep, tickets are available. Discounted tickets are on sale now, and they're available until Wednesday, and you can get those through our website.
And all the information for the openings, for what's expected for traffic management and all the rest of it will be all put out as well, I assume?
Yep, that's available now on our website, which is southernshow.org, or on our Facebook page, Southern District Agricultural Society.
And a highlight for you, Claire, I imagine this year is the Meg Lamb class. It's held on the Sunday. I think it must be the most difficult class to judge overall.
That's the only reason I agreed to be president, so I could judge that on the Sunday. I'm looking forward to it, the hard work that goes into it. I still can't believe how they managed to keep those lambs under control. So it's certainly worth something to come down and see.
So Sunday will be really busy. Zoe, any schedule for it yet?
Yes, I'm pretty sure the Meg Lambs are on at 2 o'clock, but as with every other year, the times keep getting changed because people say, can we do this, can we do that? And so round about 2 o'clock.
Brilliant. And also this year, I did see on Facebook there was a new competition, a truck fest. Is this true?
Yes, we have for the first time this year. We're having a truck fest. So if anybody's got any old, new, big, small, any trucks, bring them along. Be great to see. Kids just love coming to see tractors, trucks, anything. So yeah, something to build on.
And the one thing I've picked up with this whole conversation, it sounds like everything is so easy going with the Southern District Agricultural Show. You want everybody to be part of it.
Yeah, we want to include everybody. And this year we've actually got a Zen zone. It's a well-being area. We've got a couple of ladies coming to do Zumba demonstrations. We've got some yoga. Yeah, so it's just, let's just include everybody and get everybody involved.
There we go. That was President of Southern District Agricultural Show, Claire Walker, along with the Secretary, Zoe Hampton.
You'll have a few old scraps of vehicles lying in the ginny nettles and briars at Orrisdale, won't you?
Yeah, the Truck Fest sounds like a really good class, so quite looking forward to see what appears on the day for that one.
Yeah, what about you get the BMW out of the field and in? Or is it gone?
The landmark is now gone.
All right.
But yeah, I do believe it went up to Onken Raceway, so
Fair
there we
cop,
have it.
then. But it's fabulous, isn't it? A lot of work goes into the shows. People don't realise, not just from the exhibitors and the people showing in the shows, the people behind the scenes. There's a lot of planning to make sure that it's easy and sort of logistically good. Where people are going from one place to the next, isn't it?
Absolutely. And like Zoe says, they're her 4th year as being show secretary, still haven't got it nailed down to how they want the layout of Orrisdale, still ever changing to make, like you say, that access for everybody to enjoy the 2 days, ever changing. And it must be a big undertaking to come up with the ideas year on year, but well done, hats off to them all.
Yeah. On next week's programme, Kirree and myself will be at the show, and hopefully we'll bring you some of the interviews from some of the award winners on the day. Well, that's it for this Countryside. We'll be back next week with more. So until then, from me, Simon Clark.
And me, Kirree Kermode.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.